You might think I'm copying from making this build guide, but no, I think Arlan is actually not as bad as I think everyone makes him out to be. Sure, he's not the best DPS there is, but I don't think he's as bad as everyone thinks he actually is. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a build guide on the Big Stink, or aka the knockoff blade. Let's go ahead and talk about some of his skills and abilities first, guys. Everything that he does is based off of the amount of HP he has lost. Starting off with the talent here first, guys, increases Arlan's damage for every percent of his HP below his max HP up to a certain percentage more damage. So the more HP he loses, the more damage he does up to a certain amount. So the more you level this up means you have to take more damage, but that also means you make more damage too. This is also going to play into his skill and ultimate as well, guys. So his skill doesn't actually use any skill point, guys. It actually just uses his max HP. It's going to be consuming 15% of his max HP and then dealing lightning damage to one enemy. If Arlan doesn't have enough HP, he just gets reduced to 1 HP. This ability is the main thing really driving his talent, guys, because every time you use this, you will be decreasing his amount of HP that he has, which means you increase the damage that he does. And then finally, guys, his ultimate, which is by far the biggest thing. This is the thing that does the most damage. His Frenzied Punishment deals lightning damage equal to 230% of his attack to a single enemy, and then lightning damage equal to 115% of Arlan's attack to adjacent enemies, meaning this is kind of like an AoE attack, guys. It attacks one singular enemy with a big burst of damage, and then it hits enemies to the side of it as well. This ultimate honestly just makes his skill look like a baby trying to hit an adult or something like that. I don't know. Like a kindergartner throwing a toy at you versus a car hitting a school bus anyways. So yeah, big difference there. Let's go ahead and talk about his Lightcones now, though. Hopping into his Lightcones now, guys, what I'm using on him is a Secret Vow. I think this is probably one of his best in slot Lightcones, just because at an S1, guys, it does give a 20% damage buff to him. This is non-conditional. He also gets an extra 20% damage buff whenever the HP of the enemy is higher than his own HP, which if you're facing a boss, that will most likely always be the case. This Lightcone doesn't really help much with like the end of boss fights and stuff like that, but it really helps with mid to early boss fights, and I think this is probably one of his best in slot. I don't think it's necessarily his best in slot. I think something irreplaceable is probably his best in slot Lightcone, guys. This is Clara's signature Lightcone, so if you have it, definitely use it on him. It's going to be increasing his attack by 24%. Also, it's going to be restoring HP when he is hit or he defeats an enemy. And whenever you're hit or you defeat an enemy, it increases his attack by 24%. So this is already giving a bigger damage buff. Because with being a destruction character, he's probably going to be more likely to get targeted by attacks anyways. So this just helps him out a little bit more than the other one can. Like I said, though, the damage is a bit more situational here, being that you are getting the 24% extra damage increase when you are being hit or when you're defeating an enemy. But you do get a 24% attack increase, which is pretty nice. And then finally, guys, on the Fall of the Aeon, this is also another pretty good Lightcone you can use for him, guys. Basically, whenever he attacks, he's going to be increasing his attack by 8%. This is going to stack up to 4 times. When the wear inflicts a weakness break on the enemy, it increases their damage by 12% for a certain amount of turns. You can get this S5 pretty easily, guys, and get that up to 24%. So honestly, this is not a bad option for him, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. It gives him that 16% damage every time he uses an attack up to 4 times. So he's getting a max of a 64% increase attack stat whenever this is at S5, guys. At S1, of course, is a bit lower, but it still does pretty good damage all around. And just quickly showing you guys like basic damage calculations between each of the Lightcones. Here is what a Secret Vow is going to do. As you can see, skill usage, you have an average of 16,000 damage per skill usage. This is, of course, at level 80 as well, so it's not going to reflect what we're actually doing in the showcase because he is only level 70. But as you can see, as far as skill damage goes, you get 16,000 damage on average with a Secret Vow, whereas with the Something Irreplaceable Lightcone, you're getting around 18,000 damage per skill use on average. That does go up a little bit for the ultimate as well, an extra 2,000 damage on average from the actual ultimate usage here. Now, this Something Irreplaceable is not calcing in for the actual extra 20% damage you're getting from the, like, basically the second part of the passive. This is only counting in for the first 20% here. So it's not calculating off the extra 20% you get from having the enemy's HP higher than your own HP. This is also another comparison that I want to show you guys. This is comparing the Fall of the Aeon versus the Secret Vow as well. This is the free 5-star Lightcone you can get here. As you can see, you do get a little bit more damage out of on the Fall of the Aeon than you do a Secret Vow. Now, the Secret Vow is going to do more damage if the enemy is higher HP than you, because like I said, this damage number is going to go higher because of the calculation for the extra 20% damage you're going to be giving to the enemy. On the Fall of the Aeon, this is, you know, this is what you get right here. I mean, it's also not calculating in for the extra damage you get whenever you break the enemy's shield, so this will go a little bit higher, but overall you do get more damage out of a Secret Vow. than you do from On the Fall of the Aeon, guys. So take that for how you will. If you want more consistent damage throughout the whole match, then I would recommend On the Fall of the Aeon. But if you're trying to get like burst damage down really quick, then probably run something like a Secret Vow. This is one of his best Lightcones, guys. And I would honestly recommend it. But like I said, if you have already built On the Fall of the Aeon, just use that so you're not wasting extra stuff to try to build a Secret Vow. Also, you do have to summon to get this, so On the Fall of the Aeon is a free-to-play Lightcone you can use for him. Talking about his skills now, the things you would want to be upgrading on his skill, guys, would be his talent first, his ultimate next, and then his skill last. Just because his talent gives him damage across his whole kit here. It applies damage to your ult, and it also applies damage to your skill as well. This is the most important thing to upgrade. Second most would be his ultimate, because that's where his main source of damage is coming from as far as like using an attack. And then finally would be his skill here, guys, which does... it's okay. The damage is okay from that. As far as his bonus abilities, though, guys, he has 3. That being Revival, which when the current HP is 30% or lower when defeating an enemy, it immediately restores HP equal to 20% of his max HP. Endurance, which increases the resisted DOT debuffs by 50%. And then finally, upon entering battle, if Arlan's HP is less than 50%, he can nullify all damage received except for DOT until he is attacked. So basically, it gives him 1 freebie as far as damage goes, which is nice. As far as what you would upgrade here, honestly, I've only upgraded a Revival. I can't see wasting the materials or wasting these tracks of destiny here to upgrade the endurance one. I mean, like, a DOT debuff is such a niche thing in the game, I just probably wouldn't even do that one. This one I hear is pretty nice, Repel, but it's also very niche as well. It really only applies on like the higher stages of Memory of Chaos, I mean, realistically. So the only really good one here to me is Revival. Honestly, his bonus abilities are not that good, guys. But that's really about it as far as his traces go. Like I said, I would recommend upgrading his talent first, then ultimate next, and then finally his skill. Those traces were pretty sick, huh? But you know what else is sick, guys? You guys subscribing to my YouTube channel. That would be really cool if you guys actually hit that subscribe button. Only like 2% of you guys are actually subscribed. And you know what? It's also pretty cool too, guys. I stream just about every single day at 2 p.m. CST at twitch.tv/you2 can't see me. That will all be in the description down below, guys. So if you could watch me on stream. Well, we do streams every day. You guys can hate or do whatever you want over there. I don't care. But yeah, anyways, check out the Twitch, subscribe to the YouTube, and let's go ahead and talk about these sussy relics now. Hopping into the relics now, guys. I know they're scuffed. There's basically no set bonuses here. Don't worry about that. I had to get the main sets down first. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about what his best sets are, and then we'll talk about the clusterfuck that I have on him right now. As far as his best slot, guys, it's gonna be a 4-piece Sizzling with a 2-piece Salsado. Base Station can also be ran on here. As far as my damage calculations show, it's what I'll show on screen now. The Space Stealing Station is just a little bit easier to get, in my opinion. Now, I will say Salsado does hit a bit more damage. This is just basically comparison with no buffs here. We'll talk more about calculations at the end of the relic section here, guys, but this is just like a basic breakdown of both of them. For me, it's just easier to get the Space Station than it is Salsado, getting all the stats I need for that to actually work and pop off, because you do need a crit rate requirement to actually hit the Salsado buff. Another 4-piece set you could run on, though, guys, is 2-piece Sizzling, 2-piece Musketeer. You do lose a bit of damage apart from like the 4-piece set. It does give him a little bit of extra speed, but overall, the 4-piece Sizzling with 2-piece Salsado does hit more damage at the end of the day just because of that extra buff. But if you can't get that, worst case scenario, you just run Space Stealing Station, and that would be my recommendation for that. Talking about some of the stats you could be running on them now, guys. On my boots, I am running Speed Boots. I just think speed is superior for most characters in the game. I think 90% of the characters in this game, I think Speed Boots is just the #1 go-to thing that you could absolutely use for them. So for that reason, we're using Speed Boots. Alternatively, you could use Attack Boots. I don't think it would be as good for them, but like I said, if you don't have the Speed Boots with decent substats, then you could go with Attack Boots if they do have decent substats. Talking about the chest plate now, or the body piece, either go for crit rate or crit damage, whatever can get your crit ratio in check correctly. I have this crit damage piece. It has 9% crit rate, it has some attack, it has some speed, and then it has stinky defense, which rolled 2 times into it, which is kind of cringe. Talking about his sphere now, guys, you just want to go for a lightning damage boosting sphere. This is, yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just lightning damage boost here to boost up his lightning damage. And then finally, guys, his rope, either go with attack percentage or energy recharge. Attack percentage will give you higher raw damage whenever you're using your ultimate, but energy recharge will give you your ult a lot faster, meaning you can hit that ultimate damage a lot more frequently than you could with this. Personally, I think I'm going to swap over to an energy recharge chain here. I just really don't have a good one that I can use on him right now. So we're sticking with the attack one for right now because, as you can see, I have crit rate, crit damage. Pretty nice, pretty sweet. Talking about some of the substats now you want to be running on him, guys. Obviously, crit rate, crit damage is very, very important to him. You also want to try getting as much attack percentage in there as possible too. Break effect can also help him out a lot because he will be breaking a lot of the enemy's shields because he will be doing AoE attacks a lot. And then also HP percentage would not be bad for him. The higher you can bring his HP up, it doesn't affect his damage output per se, but it will increase his survivability. So just any HP percentage stats that you can get in there would be nice to have too. If you just have a piece with HP percentage in there, it'd be nice for him. That's all I'm saying. Alright guys, so talking about his damage numbers with each of these pieces here, this is going to be with Salsado without any buffs and also Space Station without any buffs. This means no buffs from like Tingyu and Bronya, nothing like that. This is just base numbers just coming from his kit and Lightcone alone. So as you can see here, with Salsado with no buffs at all, using an energy regen rope, guys, we are getting a 12,000 damage average with the ultimate. And with Space Station, guys, we're also getting 11,000 damage. It's 11,000 damage difference. There's really not much damage difference there. Alright guys, taking a look at what the damage looks like with max buffs. And the buffs slash debuffs that's going to be happening right now is Silver Wolf debuff on the enemy, which is defense down, and also lowering the enemy's resistance. This is also going to have a Ting Yun buff and Yukong buff as well. So guys, taking a look at Salsado's damage numbers here, it is going to be dealing 73,000 damage. This is going to be at max passive ability activated. This is going to be with his 72% damage he gives to himself, which means you're around 22% HP or something like that. You're really low on HP when you're actually hitting this damage, but as you can see on Space Station, guys, you're around a 70,000 damage average. And this is the last thing I wanted to look over here with you guys, basically showing off the difference in damage between Space Station with an attack rope and Space Station with an energy regen rope. There is an 8,000 damage difference between the averages here. With the attack rope, guys, you're getting around 78,000 damage. With the energy regen rope, you're getting around 70,000 damage. So I mean, there is a really big gap in damage here, guys, with energy regen rope to attack rope. Now, due to my personal preference, I just like running energy regen rope just because I like getting the ultimate up a bit faster. It helps with my rotations just a bit more. But if you guys want to run the attack rope with the bigger take damage, there is a pretty sizable difference in that damage number there. So I think it could help you out just depending on what you want to run, guys. I like the energy regen rope because I like getting my ultimate one turn faster, but there is a bigger damage incentive with running that attack rope, guys. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the Eidelons now. Talking about the Eidelons now, I only have E1 now, guys, which increases his skills damage by 10%. Really not that good. E1 is just, it's alright. It's not that good. E2, using skill or ultimate removes one debuff from oneself. That's alright. It's a cleanse for himself, but I mean, it's still alright to use. E4, when struck by a killing blow after entering battle, instead of becoming knocked down, Arlan immediately restores HP to 25% of his max HP. This effect is automatically removed after it's triggered once or after 2 turns have elapsed. So basically, whenever you enter battle, if he dies really quick, he'll get a free revive off within the first 2 turns of battle, which is it's pretty nice for his survivability, but it doesn't help for long-term battles. So yeah. You better hope he's getting hit at the very beginning. And then finally, guys, E6, when HP drops to 50% or below, ultimate deals 20% more damage. The damage multiplier of damage taken by the target is now applies to adjacent enemies as well. This just gives him a lot more ultimate damage. E6 is his big buff, guys. I think that's pretty obvious because it gives him ultimate damage. So let's stop lollygagging around. Let's bring him into some a showcase now. Show how he does in battle. Show how much damage he can do. And then we'll talk about team comps after that. Dude, what are you doing? Get out of your sword stance, bro. You're not that cool. Okay, yeah, stand back up, dude. Anyways, let's hop into the showcase now. Alright, guys, hopping into our battle here. We're just using a team to really show off how much damage he's going to do. I'm not saying that this is going to survive at all or this team's going to be, like, super good. But we are going to show off his damage here. Hopefully, okay, he's already getting attacked. This is amazing. Let's go ahead and give him all the buffs that he can possibly get. Yeah, let's go ahead and give him Teeny Sneed's buff as well. Might as well just go ahead and get that boy rizzed up and ready to go. He already has his ultimate. Let's go ahead and use skill to break that down. Okay, ultimate for the first time, guys. He's going to be close to his damage threshold. He's not at max because he's not at 50% HP yet. But he will be doing pretty nice damage here. Let's see. 22,000 damage. Not bad damage at all, honestly, coming from him. Like I said, guys, if you can get his ultimate back up faster, that would be, like, really clutch. That would be, like, I guess, the main thing. Getting his ultimate back up as fast as possible. so he can be hitting that higher damage or hitting more damage more frequently. Doesn't matter. Shield break that guy. Dead. 5,000 damage. Like I said, guys, his skill does not do much damage. His skill is just honestly down bad, guys. It doesn't do that much damage. I really rely on his ult to do the main big thing of his damage. All right, guys, here we go. We're gonna show off what he's gonna do with this. I guess Yukong buff. I can't speak today. This Yukong buff here, we're gonna go ahead and just attack with this here. We're gonna get whatever this guy's gonna attack us or something. Yeah, attack the Arlan. You know what? That's like best case scenario. Attack the Arlan. Let's go. We won't even use his skill here. We'll just use his ultimate and show off his big damage number here. Let's see, 9,000, 23,000 damage. Dude, he's popping off. Like, it's not bad damage at all that he's doing here, guys, honestly. Like, he's honestly holding his own here in Memory of Chaos. I mean, of course, you could build a better team around him. But yeah, he's not like anything to scoff at as far as his ultimate damage goes. Now that was pretty good damage as far as like his skill use that goes, but overall, like I said, his skill really is not the main thing bringing the damage in. It's his ultimate. So that's why I think energy recharge might be a little bit better for him. But let's go ahead and talk about the teams you need to be run on now, because they're not good. They're not looking good. The teams, I feel like he has to be run on very, very niche teams or teams that support him a lot. So I would honestly recommend running Arlan with either a healer, like a dedicated healer that can keep him from dying, like a Luocha. If you have a Luocha, I think he would be really good with Arlan. Also Japard as well, or any type of tank that is going to shield this man, because he is going to have a higher aggro rate than most people on your team. So having a shielder on the team to help him be shielded and not die as much would be, I think, kind of essential for most stages in the game. Or a healer, like I said, as well, to really keep him up. You're also going to need a lot of buffers too to make him hit this high damage potential. He needs a lot to work, and that's why I think he's so low on the tier list. I'm not here to say that Arlan is like super OP, super busted, but I'm also not going to sit here and say that he's a dog shit, dog ass character that no one can use. I mean, you saw the damage calculations at him with his max buffs and everything like that, guys. It's huge damage. I guess for anyone to say that like he's super dog shit and worthless, I think the data proves that wrong. He is not that dog shit. Not gonna sit here and say he's the best to run, like I said, but he is definitely not bad to run. If this is something that you want to run, it is definitely doable, but he's only good at the very top tier, because you are gonna need really good relics for him to hit this high damage, guys. You have to have that. You have to have really high talents for him to hit this high damage. So guys, that's really gonna do it for today's video. If you like the data that I provided in this video, or you want me to provide more data in more videos, because I feel like people are on my ass a lot and on my dick a lot because I don't show the data and stuff like that. So if you guys want to see more data in these videos, then let me know in the comments below. They'll probably be longer videos if you guys are down to watch longer videos, but I do appreciate you guys just watching the videos regardless. So if you made it to this point in the video, give a thumbs up. I'll be talking about the Kafka giveaway in a video next week, so just be prepared for that video when it comes out. You're just gonna need to be subscribed to the YouTube channel and join the Discord just to get into the giveaway whenever I post it next week. Like I said, more details on that will come with everything involved with that. So yeah, anyways, that's gonna do it. See you guys later. Hope you enjoyed. Maybe leave a like and subscribe. Bye.